So, crypto universe, we are inching closer and closer to what could be the next bull run that we've been waiting years for. Many people are excited. I'm optimistic. You should be too. We are feeling good right now. In case you don't know me, my name is Emphasis, and this is the Casual Crypto Enthusiast channel. It's a new channel that I just started. Quick backstory: I've been investing in cryptocurrency since 2019, and it's just been one of the more fascinating things for me to just follow this whole time. And so I decided I wanted to make a new channel and try to really start to make a bigger effort when it comes to uploading content and sharing updates related to all the things that are happening, because with this type of space, things are moving so fast, they're moving so rapidly to where it's like there's never, in my opinion, there's never going to be enough content creators to give updates, and you'd be surprised where certain people will find certain updates from. So always keep your mind open. First, we're going to look at the charts. No, first we're going to just look at coin market cap. We're going to keep it simple here. So the market is down today. It's still a $3.3 trillion market cap. Now, 6 years ago, when I first got into crypto, I like to think about it being at 3 trillion this fast was, it was a dream to even think about that. But we're at 3.3 trillion right now. We have gone down 1% over the past 24 hours. Everything is down right now other than Tron and Pi. Pi is up about 40%, 44%. Tron is up 0.2%. But in general, everything is down over the past 24 hours, but it is still up over the past 7 days significantly. Bitcoin is inching closer and closer to that all-time high. If I'm not mistaken, the daily close today might be one of the highest daily closes of all time. I gotta double check that, but I'm pretty sure it is. And I want to get into a couple stories here. First one is by Decrypt, and it reads, these states have rejected Bitcoin reserve bills. Several states have pushed back against Bitcoin or crypto reserve bills, stalling efforts to integrate digital assets into public finance. So it continues on. Some state level Bitcoin reserve proposals across the US have hit roadblocks after multiple states rejected bills to invest public funds in the leading crypto market. Of these 50 states, of over half introduced are considering legislation related to Bitcoin reserves or investments in digital assets, but the fate of many of these bills remains uncertain. Some have made it over the line, establishing the framework for the state crypto reserves, but others have fallen short. And then it goes to list the states that have fallen short. Some of these states you may live in, states like Arizona, Florida, Oklahoma, Utah, New Mexico, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, Wyoming, so on and so forth. So basically, like more or less half the country has not been in a rush to really move things forward when it comes to the future of finance. I know many people still believe that it's going to be just a scam and it's going to be fly by night. We got to understand at this point, it's been a decade and it's only getting stronger. Like, if you want to reject it, if like that's only going to hurt you in the long run. It's like people that thought the internet was going to be a fad that was going to come and go, and they thought that after the dot-com bubble burst, they thought it was never going to recover and bounce back. And you fast forward to 2025, and guess what? Our entire lives are attached to these screens. Our entire lives. And I do believe that the future of finance, the future of payments, I believe that all of it is going to tie to this stuff that we're overlooking right now. Now, when it comes to these states rejecting or stalling on these type of bills, stalling on any sort of bill that could progress how quickly we adopt this future of finance, I personally believe that at the end of the day, they're not truly doing this for our benefit. They're doing this simply because they want to make sure they get the benefit, and then make sure that everybody else, the regular people, they're always going to be 5 steps behind. And by the time they finally introduce it to the regular person and make it seem like it's this great thing with great opportunity, the opportunity to make a significant amount of money will already be gone. All these people will leave. The scammers, the Nancy Pelosi and her husband, those type of people, they'll all be out of the way, and they'll just use us or attempt to use us as exit liquidity. But that doesn't mean we can't stay focused and try to get in where we fit in. Doesn't mean everybody's going to get rich, but at the very least, it does mean that more people could be in a better financial situation. Now, even if you don't become a millionaire, how much happier would you be if in 1 to 2 years, even though you're not rich, you at the very least, maybe you made 6 figures? Wouldn't that make a big difference? I'm sure it would, obviously. The next story here is, again, another story from Decrypt. It reads, why Wall Street won't embrace crypto without zero knowledge privacy. When you pay with a stablecoin like USDC, you may be giving up more than just money. As long as you're transacting on a public blockchain, a merchant, or anyone for that matter, can view and analyze your financial transaction history, which that is true. That's kind of like the first thing you learn when it comes to the blockchain and how public it is, and that, again, anything could be looked up, except when it comes to chains that prioritize privacy. Chains like Monero, XX Network, Pirate. I believe the other one was Pirate Chain, things of that nature, like Zcash, whatever. But still, continuing on, what they said was, this feature isn't a minor inconvenience. It's why institutions, from banks to government entities, hesitate to adopt blockchain technology. Financial entities, corporations, and sovereign funds would be worse off if sensitive information such as treasury operations, trading strategies, and quarterly movements became public knowledge. Now, I'm going to stop right there because that kind of gets you to the gist of what they're trying to say. They're basically trying to say that they're very concerned that if all of this information on how they handle business on the back end is exposed, it could put their customers at risk, as well as their business as a whole, because they don't want people knowing about their trading strategies. And look, to be fair, there is some truth to that. You don't want everything about your customers to be out in the public, but at the same time, they already do that. How many times do we have to see articles telling us about different companies selling all of our data? How many times do we have to see articles and information come out about these companies getting hacked? They've exposed us and all of our information publicly a very long time ago. Pretty much everybody's information is available publicly somewhere or another, somewhere on the internet. Whether it could be easily found or not, that's a different story. But either way, there are solutions to this. Of course, the main one would be to focus on a privacy chain, but clearly they're trying to focus on obviously what the title of the article is about, which is zero knowledge privacy. And they want to use more popular blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and focus on what's called zero knowledge proofs, which is a breakthrough in cryptography, which offers a way to preserve the open, decentralized nature of blockchains while introducing the confidentiality and control what the institutions can allow or will allow to be seen by the general public. Again, I could understand what they're trying to say, but I also think that they're not actually considering the average person's privacy. I think it's more so a conversation about just simply not wanting the world to know about their trading strategies, which, okay, that's kind of understandable. You don't want your competitors to match what you do, to outwit you and beat you and, take all of your money and just be able to do a better job of trading. But on the flip side, I also don't respect these type of statements or this type of mindset, just because, like I said a second ago, one, so much of our information has already been made public by them. They get hacked all the time, and then also they sell a lot of our information. But then also on top of that, I think this is more so a matter of them just simply not wanting their shady business dealings to be made public, because we've already seen over the years that these banks always have very shady business endeavors or very shady business practices. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago, there was a story that got swept under the rug where about several of those giant, like if you ever go to like a port for any major city in America, you'll see those giant, I forgot what they call it, those giant containers. And a big story that got swept under the rug was one of those containers that was linked, that was supposed to be shipped in by Chase. Yes, Chase, the bank Chase. One of those containers was filled with countless amounts of cocaine, kilos and kilos and kilos and kilos of cocaine. And this happened in Philadelphia. So it happened at the port of Philadelphia. And again, swept under the rug. Now, if they had their information available publicly on a blockchain, who knows? Maybe you could see the transaction where they made that purchase, where they sent the money to whoever, or to whichever person or whatever other government entity was the one shipping that much cocaine, that much drugs into the country in the first place. So again, I think it's more so about them wanting to protect themselves and all the shady stuff they're up to, but that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know, how long do you think it'll take before realistic adoption happens? Do you think it'll happen in the near future, or do you think we're years and years away, and right now people are only focused on making money?